NTA International News.
Gambian political crisis, ECOWAS leaders concludes talks in Banjul. Nigerian Air Force destroys more oil facilities to clear creeks in Niger Delta of illegal activities. And 2016-2017 Nigeria Professional Football League kicks off weekends. Hello there and a warm welcome to NTA International News at this time. My name is Justin Bemunye. It's glad to have you join us. The ECOWAS mediation team has concluded talks with President Yahya Jammeh of the Gambia. President Muhammadu Buhari led high-level ECOWAS mediation team in crucial talks with Gambia President Yahya Jammeh this Friday on the need for him to respect the wishes of the people. The president was joined by the ECOWAS chairperson and president of Liberia, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, and the former president of Ghana, John Dramani Mahama, in Banjul, where they held a strategic meeting behind closed doors before talks with the political leaders in the country. The ECOWAS leaders are in the Gambia to ensure peaceful resolution of the political crisis in the West African country. They are to prevail on President Yahya Jammeh and the President-elect Adama Barrow to tow the path of honor towards preserving the sanctity of the electoral process and obeying the Constitution. State House correspondent Adamo Sambo reports that President Buhari was received on arrival at Banjul International Airport by Vice President Isato Njie Saidi and other senior government officials. The president is on his way to Bamako, Mali, to attend the 27th African-France Summit convened by French President François Hollande. Former Ghanaian president and other mediating team will be meeting with the Gambian Chief Justice and officials of the country's electoral body. Nigeria's Foreign Affairs Minister Geoffrey Onyema is standing in for President Buhari. Meanwhile, the winner of December's presidential election in the Gambia says there is no need for President Yahya Jammeh to seek asylum, and he is confident direct talks can solve the crisis. Adamo Barrow says he is also confident he would be sworn in next week despite his rival's refusal to give up powers. President Jammeh says foreign powers intervened in the December election and has refused the outcome of the polls. Critics say Jammeh is holding on to power because he fears international criminal court charges. And back here in the country, the leadership of the All Progressives Congress in the Southwest has affirmed the need for the unity, discipline, and peace among the party's membership in the interest of democracy and the nation. This was the outcome of one-day meeting of leaders of the party held in Ibadan. Adebola Ogunlano reports.
The closed-down meeting, hosted by the Oyo State Governor Abiola Ajimobi, which lasted for about 4 hours, dwelt extensively on the unity and sustenance of Yoruba heritage. Former Ogun State Governor Chief Olusegun Oshoba, who briefed newsmen after the meeting, said it was convened to chart the way forward for the Southwest region and Nigeria in general. He said the APC Southwest leaders appraised the success of the party in the recent governorship elections in Edo and Ondo states, attributing the achievement to the existing peace in the party.
And I can assure you that from now onward, there will be total harmony and consultation among our governors for the development of Southwest of Nigeria. The
national leaders of the party, Senator Bola Tinubu, former National Interim Chairman Bisi Akode, the party's National Deputy Chairman Segun Oni, and cabinet and members of the National Assembly from the Southwest agreed that the party should remain stronger than ever before, devoid of differences. In Ibadan, Adebola Ogunlano, NTA News.
The Independent National Electoral Commission has reconstituted its standing committees and states of supervision by its national commissioners. A statement from the commission listed the standing committees to include the Committee on Appointments, Promotions and Disciplinary Action is headed by Baba Shetima, AFO from Northeast. Mohammed Kudu Haruna from North Central heads the Board of Survey and Technical Equipment Acquisition Committee, while Electoral Operations and Logistics Committee has Amina Zakari from North West as head. Prince Adedeji Soyebi from the Southwest heads the Committee on Information and Voter Education. And now turning to legislative matters, an amendment bill on Deep Offshore and Inland Basin Production Sharing Contract Act of 2004 seeking to block revenue loss in the oil and gas sector received support amongst other bills in a public hearing by the House of Representatives Joint Committees on Petroleum Upstream, Downstream and Tertiary Education. National Assembly correspondent Kenneth Nanim reports.
To further expand the economic fortunes of the federal government and the business environment in line with global best practice, the Amendment Bill on Deep Offshore and Inland Basin Production Sharing Contract Act of 2004 became necessary, with the three committees estimating about $7 billion loss on contract irregularities. This is also to evaluate and revalidate costs of production, incentives and other grants by government to international investors.
One of such ways of improving the oil and gas sector is to make activities therein manifest transparently.
Some of the acts establishing these institutions have become obsolete and counterproductive in this dispensation.
Explaining merit of the amendment bill, contributors, including representatives of the NNPC, pointed to investment tax provisions and payment of royalties as other areas to be considered in the amendment bill.
When the price is high, you pay more to government. When the price is low, you pay less. The production royalty rate to be paid on the volume you produce as well as the price of oil at the time.
Submission by the Oil Producers Trade Section present the OPTS as not comfortable with the provisions of the bill.
Instead, what we propose is to enable new production from deep offshore. In all cases, federal government is the key beneficiary of new barrels.
The House Joint Committee also received presentations by relevant agencies on a bill to amend the Petroleum Training Institute Act of 2004 and a bill to establish National Oil and Gas Museum and Research Center, Olobiri, in Bayelsa State. Recommendation on the bills will be sent to plenary. From the National Assembly, Kenneth Nanim, NTA News.
And away from the legislature comes a report that another contractor may soon be engaged to take over construction works on the Karshi area, a poor alternative route linking the city center to the northern axis of the country. FCT Minister Mohammed Musa Bello gave this indication when he received the Managing Director of Army Post Service Housing Development, Brigadier General Mahe Bashir, in his office in Abuja. Shuaibu Yakubu has the details. And to security matters now, as part of the effort to clear creeks in the Niger Delta of illegal activities, the Nigerian Air Force has destroyed illegal oil facilities in some areas in Rivers State. A statement from the Air Force Director of Public Relations and Information, Group Captain Ayodele Famuyiwa, a NAF helicopter on patrol spotted and attacked an illegal oil facility around Opubiri, Bile and Alakiri areas. Meanwhile, the Department of State Service has rescued 4 oil company kidnapped victims from their abductors in Port Harcourt, Rivers State. The kidnap gang led by Emmanuel Ayo was earlier arrested in Uyo, Akwa Ibom State. A statement by the service says during the rescue operation supported by the military, a staff of the service sustained gunshot injuries in his leg, while 3 members of the gang were killed in the exchange of fire. 1 AK-47 rifle, 1 magazine containing 59 rounds of 7.5mm ammunition, and 3 locally made pistols were recovered from the gang. In a related development, 1 Al-Qasim Salisu, a Boko Haram member, was arrested in Rigasa area of Igabi local government area of Kaduna State. Salisu fled the military operation in Yobe State to settle in Kaduna, where he and his cohorts had planned to launch attacks on selected targets in Kaduna metropolis, including the railway station. The service has also arrested 1 Calvin Nwanaji at Ojo, Lagos State. Nwanaji has opened a Facebook account in the name of the Director General of the SSS and has been using it to defraud unsuspecting members of the public. 2 people lost their lives Friday morning, while 15 others were wounded when 3 female suicide bombers detonated their bombs in Madagali town in Adamawa State. Confirming the incident, Police Public Relations Officer Superintendent Uthman Abubakar said the 4th suicide bomber was shot by military personnel before she could detonate her bomb. Nasarawa State government has approved engagement of more widows and orphans of fallen heroes of the Nigerian Armed Forces into the state civil service as part of welfare package for the Nigerian Legion. Governor Umaru Tanko Al-Makura announced this at the launch of Emblem and Appeal Fund for the 2017 Armed Force Remembrance Day. Joshua Odito reports.
The decision by the Nasarawa State government to employ 100 members of the Nigerian Legion to serve as security watchers in the state was announced by Governor Umaru Tanko Al-Makura at the launch of Emblem for the 2017 Armed Forces Remembrance Day celebration in Lafia, the state capital. Appreciating the gallant effort of the Nigerian Armed Forces in securing the territorial integrity of the country, Governor Al-Makura explained that the 100 members of the Nigerian Legion that will be recruited will serve in various communities and offices as security watchers to complement effort of security personnel.
This administration will support your activities geared towards maintaining peace and order in our society.
Also, the state government donated the sum of 5 million naira, a brand new 18-seater bus, and 100 bags of rice to members of the Nigerian Legion in the state. Meanwhile, Governor Al-Makura taxed traditional rulers in the state on peace building amongst various ethnic nationalities in their domains. He was speaking when he received separately the new Osana of Kiana, Alhaji Abdullahi Amegwa Agbo III, and the traditional rulers from northern zone of the state. In Lafia, Joshua Ojito, NTA News.
Meanwhile, activities marking the 2017 Armed Forces Remembrance Week continue with a special Jumat prayers at the National Mosque, reflecting on the sacrifice of the fallen heroes. Abdullahi Garba Benin Kuru reports that Senate President Bukola Saraki represented President Muhammad Buhari at the prayers.
Special prayers for the living and fallen heroes of the Nigerian Armed Forces preceded and succeeded the 2 rakat prayers. Coming from the successes recorded in conquering the terrorist activities in Sambisa Forest, the Deputy Imam saluted the armed forces and urged Nigerians, irrespective of their faith, to pray. He prayed for the leaders to lead one united Nigeria and continue victory against all adversities.
And I thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the present government of General Muhammad Buhari and the Senate President. All of them, they supported the Nigerian army with everything that they need.
Senate President Abubakar Bukola Saraki and the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukur Yusuf Buratai, said it is a period of sober reflection and pledged more commitment to end the insurgency.
The experience here is to continue to let all the men and women in uniform to know how we in Nigeria appreciate the efforts, those who have made the ultimate sacrifice, say that Almighty will grant them Jannah Firdaus and continue to give the family left behind. And we as here appreciate that we continue to do our best to support the armed forces.
While we commemorate, the fallen heroes, we really need to sit back and also look at those they left behind, to pray for them continuously, and indeed take care of their welfare.
The celebration will end on Sunday with the laying of the wreath. In Abuja, Abdullahi Garba Kudu, NTA News.
Another contractor may soon be engaged to take over construction works on the Karachi-Ara, a poor alternative route linking the city center to the northern axis of the country. FCT Minister Mohammed Musa Bello gave this indication when he received the Managing Director of Army Post Service Housing Development, Brigadier General Mahe Bashir, in his office in Abuja. Shuaibu Yakubu has the details.
The minister expressed dissatisfaction that work on the Apo Karishi Road has remained uncompleted against all expectations. He said the administration is trying to see how it could survey the challenges being faced by the current contractor, adding that the FCT administration may be forced to engage another contractor if those challenges persist.
With respect to Karishi Apo Road, quite frankly, I thought by now we would have completed that road. But unfortunately, the contractor handling the project has been faced with a number of challenges, which we are trying to see how we can salvage that project. You can rest assured that that road is a priority for this administration.
The minister commended the efforts of the Nigerian military in the provision of housing facilities for its officers and promised to assist the military in delivering on its mandate. He warned that nobody is authorized to sell land in the FCT, assuring that certificates of occupancy to beneficiaries of housing within mass housing projects will soon commence, starting with the Army Post Service Housing Scheme in Kubwa. The Managing Director of Army Post Service Housing Scheme, Brigadier General Mahi Bashir, solicited for land in the FCT to provide affordable houses for its officers and men fighting Boko Haram in the northeastern part of the country.
Implementing organ of the Nigerian Army Housing Scheme and has a primary objective of providing houses and land for members of the armed forces.
In Abuja, Shoaibu, Onoze Yakubu, NTA News.
And if you're just joining us, you're watching NTA International News from Abuja, Nigeria. More news coming ahead after the break. Please stay tuned. We'll return shortly.
NTA International News. Africa as it is.
Thank you for staying with us on NTA International News. The welfare of members, especially their remuneration, is of topmost priority of the newly elected Central Working Committee of the Radio, Television, Theatre and Arts Workers Union, RATAU. This came to light at a meeting of the union's leadership with the Director General of the NTA in Abuja. Adebola Brookslinson, the reports.
Since coming on board, the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, is the first port of call by the leadership of RATAU, considering the huge membership strength of the union. Undoubtedly, increment in salary and improved welfare packages are issues members of the union are looking forward to be addressed.
NTA has won back the heart of viewers.
National President of the union, Kabir Garbasani, commended the role NTA is playing in consolidating democracy in Nigeria and its resolve to make great impact in the ongoing digital broadcasting being pursued by the federal government. The Director General of the NTA, Yakubu Ibn Muhammad, assured the group of NTA's maximum support for the new leadership.
We in NTA are equal to the task, and I would like to assure Mr. President that we will continue to do everything within the limits of our constraints to ensure that the welfare of members of staff remains uncompromised. Democracy has come to stay in Nigeria, and we in the Nigerian Television Authority are partners in progress with democratic forces in this country.
Comrade Kabir Garbasani speaks further on the welfare of members.
Issue of salary increment, or rather RATAU's salary structure,
is an issue that has been on. And we have been agitating for it, and we are very much sure and we are convinced that we are going to pursue it with vigor. And at the end of the day, we are going to achieve that our desire will be met by God's grace.
RATAU is the umbrella body of media practitioners in Nigeria and one of the affiliate unions of the Nigerian Labour Congress. Adebola, Brooklyn Sunday, NTA News.
Encouraging indigenous languages in Nigeria will not only enhance the thinking capacity of Nigerians, it will also enhance development. These were the views shared by guests on NTA's current affairs program, Good Morning Nigeria, in their contributions to the importance of mother tongue. Salih Abdullahi has the report.
The guest singled out Nigeria as one of the countries blessed with abundant languages, with an estimated 400 languages spoken among over 250 ethnic groups. They said the country seems to have lost focus in promoting its indigenous languages since the colonial era, when the founding fathers refused to adopt one as official language. However, to close the vacuum, the guest suggested legislation for a national policy that will, among others, promote the National Institute of Languages and also encourage intracultural relationships among the people.
Because if you meet any governor now, he will tell you that he gets subvention from Abuja to do things in respect of health, education, road maintenance, and what have you. But there is not a single kobo as subvention in order to take care of Nigerian languages.
We must syncretize all the people's experiences. This way we can put together and say we have a national flora, a plethora of languages that can develop us as a people. I think tolerance in developing scientific thinking is important.
Nigerian languages, beside the three major ones of Hausa, Yoruba, and Igbo, the discussants admitted have the capacity to boost the cultural identity of the people.
If in the industrial age, people who are using foreign languages didn't make industrial breakthrough, how then do you expect people to make a breakthrough in the information age if they are deprived of their capacity to communicate naturally?
The government should try to train teachers. There is dearth of Nigerian language teachers in the schools. And those of them who are there, they are not motivated. They have low esteem because even the children they are teaching make jest of them.
They reminded parents and guardians to inculcate their culture into their children. In Abuja, Salihu Abdullahi, NTA News.
Time now to surf around the globe with some top stories. Oku Ekbeyong has details.
We begin by telling you that US President Barack Obama has signed an executive order easing but not eliminating sanctions against Sudan. The White House says the president signed the order 1 week before he leaves office. Chinese state media have warned that blocking China from islands it has built in contested waters would lead to what they describe as a devastating confrontation. The angry response came after Secretary of State nominee Rex Tillerson said the U.S. should deny Beijing access to new islands in the South China Sea. Beijing has been building artificial islands on reefs in waters also claimed by other nations. And from England comes a report that severe flood warnings are in place along the eastern coast of the country amid fears that thousands of homes are at risk from a storm surge. The Environment Agency says the morning tide was not as high as expected, but it has issued severe flood warnings. Oku Ekpayong, NTA News.
At the sports now, 2016-2017 Nigeria Professional Football League kicks off weekend as hosts Gabon and Guinea-Bissau set to meet in 2017 Africa Cup of Nations, opener Saturday in Libreville. Ayo